Hey everybody, it's Farmer Scott out here at Marra Farm again to explore and learn some more. And today I have my friend Farmer Maya with me. And the seasons are changing. We're going to learn a little bit about what happens at the farm in fall and as we're going into winter and how to put the garden to bed and prepare. But first, Farmer Maya, what are some signs that we might see that might show us that the seasons are changing and we need to put the garden to bed?
So one of the things is that the temperatures are dropping. So it's getting a lot colder at night and also colder during the day. I'm wearing a lot more layers right now. And also, even though the sun is out right now, super bright here, it's not going to be out for very much longer today. So our days are getting shorter, the sun is setting earlier and rising later in the morning. And there are some other signs that the seasons are changing also, and those signs we can see on the plants in the farm. So let's take a look. All right, y'all, so we are here with our zucchini plants, and we're gonna take a close look at the leaves on the zucchini plants. You can see that they're getting kind of brown on the edges, and they're getting yellow. They're also pretty crispy and crunchy. They fall apart really easily in my hand. And so that's one sign that this zucchini plant is finished producing zucchinis. There also aren't any flowers that are growing on this zucchini plant, which is, we need those flowers in order to grow the zucchini fruit that we then pick and eat. So this is one sign that the garden is ready to be put to bed. And the first step is to pull out these zucchini plants. And we want to pull out the plants before winter comes to prevent diseases and pests.
Okay, so now we're in a different part of the garden where we've already cleared away all the vegetables, like our old zucchinis back there. We cleared it all away and we're ready for the next step. And this whole process we often call putting the garden to bed. So it can kind of go to sleep for the winter. It can hibernate for the winter. And the next step is putting a cover on. Just like when you go to bed, you might put the covers on, put a blanket on. We want to put a cover on the garden too. And we can do that with special plants called cover crops. So we take out all the old plants and we actually plant some new ones. This is called crimson clover, these seeds here. And we're going to plant them and they're going to create a dense mat of plants that will cover the soil. And we do it for a couple reasons. One is it rains so much here that it's just constantly, compacting the soil, making it harder and harder and harder over the winter. All those little raindrops add up throughout the months. And so we want to keep it nice and loose for our veggies to grow in the springtime. And then also there's a lot of nutrients in our soil that our vegetables need. And all this water over the winter, some of those nutrients can get washed away. And so our cover crop seed, our clover in this case, is going to hold on to those nutrients tight for the winter. So one of the really fun things about planting our cover crop is we want it to be a dense cover, so we don't have to be super exact about it. We can just kind of throw it around everywhere here a little bit and get a nice coverage there so it's covering all our spots. And then we want to get a little bit of soil over the top so I can kind of just rough it up here with my hand so that some of those seeds are getting buried and give it maybe a nice pat down to stick it in place. And one of the other great things about planting in the fall is we don't need to water it because Mother Nature will do that for us. All right, so we just planted our clover seeds, these seeds here, and through some movie magic, we have some clover that's all finished growing. We actually just moved to a different spot on the farm where there already was some. And so our clover will look just like this, except ours is called crimson clover. And crimson is a shade of red. So instead of being purple like these, the flowers will be these really beautiful, vibrant red flowers. And they'll create this nice mat like this. And it's protecting the soil from all that rain beating down on it all winter. And it's going to hold on really tight to those nutrients. And keep them safe for the winter too.
So there are some plants that can actually last in the garden throughout the whole winter. We live in a pretty special place in Seattle in the Pacific Northwest, and so there are certain plants that we can overwinter. And one of those plants is kale. So other plants in this family, like collard greens, can also survive a cold winter because it doesn't get too cold here in Seattle. So this kale we can actually leave all winter long, and it's going to get really tasty, really sweet as the winter goes on. And there are some plants that we can even start to grow in the fall and then they'll grow throughout the whole winter long, and we'll pick them in the spring. And one of those is garlic. So the fall time is a great time of year to grow garlic.
All right, folks. Well, now the garden is all ready for winter. Thanks, Farmer Maya, for coming and learning with us. And thank you all for coming and learning with us about how to put the garden to bed. Now it's time to just relax for the winter, and we'll see you again in spring.